6 years ago, I fell in love with a guy who is a Taiwanese and also a classmate in a college. So we became couples 6 months before we graduated from college. After that, we start our life separating from each other. When he was in Taiwan, I was in Macau. At the moment I decided to come back to Taiwan, he got a job in the mainland China. So our long distance relationship goes on. Sometimes I have the feeling that my boyfriend and I are destined to be together, but in a separated kind of way. Anyway, we managed to maintain this long distance relationship, and things are getting better and better. So far, we have been together for 6 years.
Wow.
Throughout the process, there were a lot of struggles and hard times. There were times I hesitated, times I felt frustrated, and times I wanted to give up. Luckily, whenever I fell into those gloomy feelings, I learned something. I learned more about love, I learned more about our relationship, and more importantly, I come up with tips that ease my nervousness in this long-distance relationship and also help me strive on my faith. So here I am, sharing with you my tips to survive a long-distance relationship. Rule number 1. Admit that I'm literally single. To explain this rule, you have to know about the difference between an ordinary relationship and a long-distance relationship. In an ordinary relationship, you call your lover every day, anytime. You meet her, or hug her, hold her hands, you dine out together, you go to movie, and you can do whatever you guys want to do. But in a long-distance relationship, there is nothing. No dates, no dino, no hugging, no holding hands, nothing. And as for me, all I get is just a few messages and a few phone calls every day. So therefore, in some sense, to be in a long-distance relationship is actually similar to being single. This means that I should do what single persons do. Go out, make friends, and enjoy life. By admitting that I'm literally single, I'm free from limiting myself to do what couples do. I do not need to wait for my boyfriend to watch the latest movie together. I do not need to wait for him to try out new restaurant or do this or that together. I free myself from the anxiety in this long-distance relationship. Also, I learned how to love myself and enjoy life. I even find it easier to get along with him when he is around, because I know about all the good stuff, good food and good things when I enjoy life by myself. This rule actually helps me in both my life and also my relationship. Now, rule number 2. Always remember the advantages. Although it seems sad to be separated from the one you love, there are always some good things within. One of the advantages is that my boyfriend and I always have easy fights. In an ordinary relationship, when lovers get into a fight, there will be a lot of shouting, crying, and emotional words. But for me, in a long-distance relationship, I don't need that tears and yells, as this would never work without him around. So this saves me a lot of energy,
He's gonna see this, you know that, right?
So besides, as we don't talk face to face, we use emails, line to write, and to express our feelings. We do that even when we fight. So by writing down our feelings, we are actually able to express them in a more constructive manner. In this way, we have a better settlement between us. Also, since it is never a face-to-face fight, immediate response is not required. Whenever I feel too stressed out in a fight, I can simply pretend that there is an internet shutdown, and I can leave my phone as far away from me as possible. This gives me time to digest what he is trying to say, to understand our conflicts, and eventually we will have a better mutual understanding. Finally, rule number 3. See each other as much as we can. Sometimes people have too much fantasy about a long-distance relationship. They'll link long-distance relationship to very romantic love stories like the tale of the weaver girl and the cowherd, 牛郎织女, who could barely see each other and try so hard to be together. But actually, in fact, we don't do that. We are not that romantic. The term in a long-distance relationship does not mean that we have to keep the distance to maintain our relationship. Besides, we're not living at wartime, and transportation now is very convenient. So there is no excuse not to meet. Therefore, whenever we have time and our budget is allowed, we will meet each other as much as we can and create memories together. To be honest, there's no golden rule to a successful relationship, and my rules are no exception to it. However, I always believe that with love and courage, everything will be fine. Even though we may not end up happily ever after in the end, I still think that it will be fine. As long as we learn, we grow up, we love each other in this process. We always win. As quoted from Tuesday with Maury by Mitch Albom, love wins, love always wins. Toastmaster of the Union.